Yes, welcome along to Wembley Stadium. Notts County against Brighton is the occasion, and you're in tune with BBC Radio Nottingham. I'm Andrew James, and up here in the commentary box with me already, as we've mentioned, Colin Slater, your match commentator, and David Needham, a great stalwart to Notts County, and of course to Forest through the seasons. Martin Fisher and Nigel Bell have been down on the pitch side, and I think we can now go down there where Martin is talking to some of the Notts players.
The day's arrived, you're here at Wembley, a dream come true for you. I don't suppose you ever imagined you'd be playing here.
I thought last year, man, was the best chance I'd ever have of even just getting on the bench, and I was disappointed, as you know. Never ever thought I'd be back, if I'm honest, certainly not in a playing capacity. And now all of a sudden it's arrived, and it's just unbelievable. We came this morning and there's obviously a lump in your throat, and you see the stadium and the history surrounding the stadium, and now I'm here to play. So I just hope I feel as good at the end as I do now, because it's been a long time coming.
A long way to go until kick-off at the moment, but already a lot of noise being generated by the Notts fans behind us.
Again, it's absolutely incredible. As you were coming in, there was thousands at the gate welcoming us, and I think we were surprised last year at the noise that they generated, and this year again, I can see them outdoing the Brighton fans. So, as I say, once we send them home happy, that's the main thing.
Don, there were tears of joy when you reached Wembley after the victory over Middlesbrough. I'm sure there'll be a few more if you've clinched second division promotion come 4:45 tonight.
I could be sponsored by Kleenex next year, Martin, if we win today.
Don, all the best.
Cheers, mate.
From Don O'Riordan into another couple of lads that have come through. Dean Yates, 4-match suspension. You were very nervous about not making the starting lineup, but you're in the team. Delighted, of course.
Yeah, obviously, very disappointed for Chris Shaw, who's been left out. But I've missed the last 4 matches, and I've been sitting up doing the radio with you, and it's been terrible. But as I say, it's just delighted to be back.
No substitute, is it, for playing?
Oh no, not at all. I'm glad I'm out here now, and just soaking the atmosphere in, and hopefully get out there and do the job.
All the lads look very relaxed. I'm sure that last year's experience will have helped you.
Oh, very much so. Coming here last year, experiencing the atmosphere and all the pressures of Wembley will help us no end this afternoon.
Alongside you, Phil Turner. Phil, you've also been battling to make sure you'd play at Wembley this time with the ankle injury, but you've come through and looking forward to it all.
Very much so. It's been up and down week for me at the moment, because I didn't know whether I was going to be fit or not, but I've come through at the last minute, and I just hope the ankle stands up to it.
Now, what about these supporters, because they're making an awful lot of noise now and we're way off kick-off time?
That's right, we've probably got nearly as many as what we had in last year, but they're hoping for a very big crowd here today, and it's going to be nice to see the stadium nearly full.
What about the preparations for the game? Overnight hotel?
More or less the same as what happened last year. The gaffer's so superstitious, it's untrue. Everything's been, what did we do last year, did we do this last year? But it's been very good. We've had a relaxing time overnight, and we had a walk up to the stadium again this morning, and looking forward to the game.
Let me just emphasise to our listeners how relaxed all the players are, because you've even got a camera out here.
You've even got a green play on there.
Lovely.
I might say Martin's got a suit and tie on at the moment today, and the lads can't believe it. Looks very nice.
Very nice. I just don't want it to get wet later on, if you get my meaning.
That's all right. We'll sort that out. No problem.
Pitch looks in perfect nick once again.
Yeah, I think to say that it's had 2 games on 2 days, it's very good. They've actually got the young kids on it at the moment, which is, turfing it up. But you can't beat this surface, can you?
Managed to get hold of them, the 2 young lads, Tommy Johnson and Mark Draper. Drapes this time last year, you're on the bench. This time you're going to be playing. Looking forward to it all.
Yeah, obviously it's a lot more exciting for me than last year. A few more nerves than that. Last year I knew I was going to be on the bench, there's a few in here already, and I'm just looking forward to get started.
Just tell us how you're feeling at the moment. Are the old butterflies going bananas in the stomach?
Not too bad at the moment, a little bit. I've just seen my family, so it's nice, and I'm just looking forward to it. I'm really excited.
I think you've said your best performance this season was at Tottenham in the FA Cup game, and the pitch there was pretty good. The Wembley turf, if anything, is even better, surely?
Yeah, we've played on a few good pitches this year, mainly down in London. Millwall was a good pitch last time, and we've played some good stuff. We've won all of them games, except for the Spurs game, so hopefully we'll do the stuff today.
Last time you were in London was the game against West Ham, got a couple of goals. Nice to score here.
Oh yeah, I want to do today. I just love to score. I go mad.
Drapes, one man that did score last year is Tommy Johnson alongside us here. Last year, Tom, you were looking for your 20th goal. We said before the game, it'd be a nice place to score it, and you did it. What are your chances today?
Same as last year, I suppose, Martin. You know, I'm just really looking forward to it now. I was a bit nervous before, but now I've got inside the ground now and seen the family and had a look around and the supporters. I'm starting to enjoy it a bit more.
It is a very intimidating place, isn't it, if you don't relax? But last year everybody settled down very quickly, and that experience has got to stand you in good stead, surely.
Yeah, I think you can tell all the lads, you know, they're happy now and feel relaxed and that. I suppose it'll be when we walk up the tunnel and that and hear all the roars. That'll be the deciding factor. But we come here last year and done it. Hopefully we can do it again.
Got a lot of folks down here. Have you said hello to them yet, or they're not on the ground yet?
Just seeing them round sitting in the stand there, so nice to say hello to them, and I'll just see them after the game.
Tommy, I remember last year we celebrated in great style after the game. I'm sure we'll be doing it again. Tom, all the best to you, and all the best to you as well, Drapes.
Cheers, Mark.
Cheers, Martin.
Phil Turner coming out now away on that far side. Steve Cherry behind him. Steve Cherry hasn't got that lilac number on today. It's a yellow shirt. Perhaps the lilac one would have clashed with Brighton and Hove Albion's kit, which is all red, as I say. So Tommy Johnson doing the shouting in the background there. Neil Warnock, the team manager, just coming to the front of the queue along with his son James across on that far side. Again, Notts County very well dressed in that black and white strip. Charlie Palmer coming across just to shake the hands of the referee. And we're now all square or all level with us now as they await for the official indication from the official in the front there. Neil Warnock now leads his team out. And behind him, Phil Turner, Steve Cherry, Tommy Johnson, Dean Yates, Mark Draper. There's Charlie Palmer, Alan Parris, Don O'Riordan, Craig Short, Dean Thomas and David Regis bringing up the rear, and behind them Kevin Bartlett and Paul Harding, the two subs, and Chris Short and Gary Chapman behind them. Colin, they should be coming into view now.
They're in view as we look from just behind the Royal Box here at Wembley Stadium. The sides come out side by side, led by their managers, to the most tremendous welcome. It's really a marvellous atmosphere here beneath the twin towers of the famous old stadium. But as you look around, it's quite obvious that the Brighton supporters do outnumber those who come from Nottingham. There's quite a spare bit of space behind the goal to our left as we look from behind the Royal Box. But as we look to our right, very little space for Brighton fans. Over 30,000 of them, they had extra tickets. Over 30,000 Albion supporters have come up from the seaside this morning. But Notts County won't lack anything in support when it comes to passion and really getting committed and behind the team. They are, as Martin said to you from his position down at the tunnel, looking extremely smart in their new black and white shirts with just a yellow flash down the arm, a yellow flash which matches Steve Cherry's goalkeeping jersey, which looks to me like a new one for the occasion. The teams are going to be presented to this afternoon's chief guest, Andrew Buxton, who's the Deputy Chairman and Group Managing Director of Barclays Bank, and he'll be accompanied onto the pitch by Gordon McKeague of the Football League Management Committee and David Dent, Secretary of the Football League.
And as those presentations are now taking place down on the field below us, let's have a quick run through today's Notts County team through the eyes of the manager, Neil Warnock.
Steve Cherry's done an excellent job since I signed him. He's been very consistent, just had a couple of hiccups, but I've been highly delighted with him, and I think he's playing as good as he's ever played now. Charlie Palmer has done well wherever I've played him, and he's signed a new contract, so he's very happy and very consistent. I would think the most consistent he's played in his career. Alan Parris has started knitting in how I want him to play rather than how he wants to play, and I think the lads are beginning to accept him now, and I think he realises that that's the only way he'll stop in the side. Craig Short has done a marvellous job in his second season. Looking forward to every challenge, and he's going to have his hands cut out today with the lads small. Dean Yates has had a good season, one of the established second division centre halves, and I think he's improved. He's been at fault for the professional foul by the referees by missing 7 games for 2 powder puff tackles, but he's not let it affect his game, and he's always been bubbling in the dressing room. Don O'Riordan, the evergreen Don, has done marvellous. I think the system suited him where we've played him in front and behind, and he looks younger every game. And without doubt the best of his career he's playing at the moment. Dean Thomas has done well. Had a couple of injuries in and out, but has come back well. Helped me out full back at one stage, but come back and it gives us another dimension when he does play well in midfield. Phil Turner has done a marvellous captain's job. He's knitted everybody together, gelled them together, often criticised from a lot of quarters, but not from the manager. David Regis has improved over the 6 months. People laughed at me when I took him from Barnet, but including Barry Fry. but he's proved that with 16 goals he's established himself now as a striker in the second division. Mark Draper's silky skills catches the eye, but I've been more impressed with his ability to win balls and to challenge a lot more, and his physical attributes have improved, and that's done his game no harm at all. Tommy Johnson's got stronger since I dropped him and brought him back after Christmas, and I don't worry too much about him away from home like I used to do. He'll always score a goal. Paul Harding in midfield, who's done well to say he was in non-league 6 months ago. He's got a bit of skill as well as his aggressive nature, and obviously once he can curb last 90 minutes and curb himself from certain other things, he'll be an asset. Kevin Bartlett's had a super season with 16 goals I think it is now, and although he's a bit left out, he's come back against Middlesbrough when he came on as sub and looked exceptional again. Exciting.
So then, that's Neil Warnock's view on the Notts County players. You're listening to BBC Radio Nottingham Sport, coming live from Wembley Stadium. Notts County against Brighton in the Barclays League Second Division playoff. To take you through this entire match, Mr. Notts County himself, Colin Slater, with your summariser, David Needham.
Notts County, who are going to get this game underway. They're going to be attacking the goal to our right. They're going to be attacking the goal behind which are massed, as we look from behind the Royal Box, the Brighton supporters, and it's Mark Draper back to Dean Thomas, and Dean Thomas with the left foot, who sweeps it right across here and into touch just over the advertisement hoardings, and it's a throw to Albion, going to be taken over there by the number 2 Gary Chivers. Chivers it is with the throw, little short one in there to Walker, back now to Chivers. Chivers does well, gets around the man, crosses the ball in, good defending there by Notts, but the danger's not averted, the shot comes in and wide. But it was a good effort. First strike of the afternoon came in there from Robert Codner, the number 10. A dangerous little episode there, David Needham.
Yes, a little bit dangerous there. Brighton have just started to settle down a little bit quicker than Notts at the moment, but Notts defending very well there, and both teams vying for the opening at the moment.
Long throw diagonally comes into Johnson. Johnson in the area did well, got a little flick to it, but the cover was good. Wilkins working hard for his side there. Gives it to Chivers. Chivers does well, comes away, gives it to Wilkins again, who made himself available. And Wilkins with the educated left foot releases Walker down the right-hand touchline. Walker going against Palmer. And Palmer gets back and gives Albion their third corner. 3 corners to Albion. A little under 20 minutes gone. 0-0, but a good stop that by Charlie Palmer, David.
Yes, very important tackle there. It's just worrying me a little bit because Brighton's game of playing it to feet and knocking it back and keeping possession is bringing them rewards at the moment, and they're opening us up a little bit, whereas Notts are looking to get the ball long and early, which is playing into the hands of their sweeper, so let's hope that changes pretty soon.
Third Albion corner, 20 minutes, 0-0 here at Wembley for the right to play in the First Division, and the corner is swung in from the right hand side. The header comes in, it's free for Walker, getting a shot in, and it hits the side netting, and it comes off a Notts player. Gasps from Albion supporters there. Clive Walker was with an ace. He had a little bit of time and a little bit of space. It went right across to him at the far post, and Walker did well, got the shot in, and a Notts defender's boot just translated it behind for the 4th Albion corner with just over 20 minutes gone. And this to be delivered from the left-hand side. High dropping one to the far side. And Draper it is this time who gets the ball clear, and for Dean Thomas to chase and keep the ball in play and hammer it forward to Turner, who makes himself available just inside the Albion half. Now knocked a long way across this side, and now through to Johnson, through to a mistake. The goalkeeper Digweed comes right out to the edge of his 18-yard area, smothers it. Johnson didn't seem quite as alert. He was a little bit surprised, I think, that the ball came through to him, and due to a defensive mistake, that was County's first chance of the afternoon. Notts 0-0 here against Brighton and Hove Albion at Wembley. With 24 minutes gone, Phil Turner to take their first corner on the left, attacking the goal to the right as we look. Regis gets the flick, Digweed saves under his bar. But it was a good flick by the Notts striker, well taken corner, and so it'll be Jovan to take the free kick. It's just inside the Brighton half of the field. Looks back to his goalkeeper, decides against it, takes it with the right foot. It's played through to Walker. Walker's in space, cuts in field. Walker now going against Palmer, still against Palmer, goes, gets the ball into the middle. Palmer watches it all the way and puts it behind for a 5th Brighton corner. And I think we have to say, with a little over 25 minutes gone, that although it's 0-0, Albion are, on the first 25 minutes of evidence, the more impressive. Dean Thomas, and he's on the edge of the penalty area, and he comes forward and he goes down, and it's another corner to Notts. They were hoping for a little more. They wondered whether the referee might have in mind a free kick just outside the area, but a third corner it is, and again Turner will take this, and again on the left-hand side, Johnson's on the line, so is Regis. Yates, O'Riordan, Short, Lurk on the edge of the box, and again it's the same corner. It's taken to Thomas, back to Turner, and in for Johnson, header, and Johnson has scored, and it's a repeat of what happened here last year. Tommy Johnson's header on 30 minutes separating the sides. County's third corner, third time by Turner. This time he finds Johnson, and Johnson, who scored with a shot here a year ago in Tranmere, and set Notts on their way, this time with his head, and again the similarities don't end. As it was last year, so it is this year. It's Tommy Johnson's 20th of the season. Tommy Johnson writes his name to make it Notts 1, Brighton 0, despite David Needham, all the early Albion pressure.
Excellent move, yeah, it just shows you how important dead ball situations are. Albion have controlled the game really in the first 20 minutes, but Notts come back with a lovely dead ball situation. 1-0 up, game should change now, and Notts County settle down and get more into the game in general.
We're into the last minute of the 45. Notts are leading by a goal to 0. Some of the crowd whistling to have the break, but we're not quite there. And the ball is played through to Barham from the throw. It'll be knocked in, I think, now by Chivers. Takes his time about it, but the ball does come in and picks out Walker on the edge of the area. There's always danger when Walker has it, but this time he plays the ball back to the number 2 Chivers, and Chivers now to be chased by Codner. Codner outside the area, plays it wide on the right, and the header from Walker hits the post. Walker there with the header hits the post. Cherry was beaten, and Notts clear their lines through Thomas, and Brighton are going to come surging back again. That's how near Albion were to an equaliser in the dying seconds of the first half. Walker will think, how unlucky I've been. It struck the post from their most dangerous forward. As the whistle goes for half-time, and Notts have the lead that they so much wish to have, Neil Warnock and the entourage move away from the bench below us with words of encouragement, no doubt, at half-time, and from Brighton, words of how they need to perform to turn the game around. The match to be got underway in this second half by David Ellery. Our referee pushing a fence from Digweed's clearance by Short on Small. Free kick to Brighton halfway inside the Notts half. Notts now defending the end where the Brighton supporters, over 30,000 of them, amassed. As Cherry gets the wall organised, is going to be taken by Dean Wilkins, the referee making sure that the wall is 10 yards back, the wall which is just on the fringe of the penalty area. As Wilkins comes in, strikes it, and it strikes the bar. It beat Cherry, it struck the angle of post and bar and goes over. Second time in the game, David Needham, that Brighton have hit the woodwork.
Yes, it's going to be very difficult this first 10 minutes. Brighton are kicking into the end with us where the supporters are, and they're getting very vocal now. It's going to be really desperately important that County just ride this first 10 minutes to let this emotion die down a little bit.
Short clears his lines through to Johnson. Johnson's header in. Cherry appears to be injured, carrying an injury. Must have fallen awkwardly. Certainly the ball wasn't near him. As Dean Thomas knocks the ball through the middle to Johnson. Johnson in space, tries the shot wide of the goalkeeper's left-hand post from just about the penalty spot, 12 yards out from Tommy Johnson, hero on 30. Could have been a hero again, could have made it 2 there. First-class chance, not much to aim at, and it was a foot or so wide of Perry Digweed's left-hand post. 55 minutes gone, the second half promising to be a more rousing affair than the first day.
It's an excellent half now, both sides going flat out. Tommy Johnson could have put the game beyond doubt there. He should have hit the target. It was a great move again, but we're opening up a lot of space in their back four because they're committing themselves to getting this equaliser.
Chivers is going to take this throw, and it's nodded back by Paris, for whom it was not intended, who picked it up. Nods it through to Regis. Regis now going down this left-hand touchline against Pates. Holds on, gives the ball into Johnson. Johnson now tries a shot and scores! Tommy Johnson, who missed one a little earlier, gets his second of the afternoon. Comes across to the touchline, blows kisses to the fans, and they are on their feet to salute Tommy Johnson. 16 minutes into the second half, and the youngster who scored with a header on 30 gets another so vital goal, and Notts feel that the First Division beckons them. But the First Division, here we come. 10 years ago, almost to the day, they won at Chelsea with 2 goals, and now they lead by 2 goals, and Tommy Johnson is their hero.
Didn't look a goal on, but he turned quickly and just shot for the far corner, and under the goalkeeper it went. Wonderful opportunist goal.
Turner way out on that far side, has options on if he wants to use them, uses Draper, gives the ball back to his skipper. He goes down the line. Is he brought down, or is it a corner? Difficult to tell from this angle, but he was brought down certainly by Chapman. Was it a foul though?
I think he's given a free kick there.
It's a dangerous position if he has.
It is.
Because it's halfway really between the corner flag and the penalty line, or perhaps nearer in than that. Johnson's going to take it. I remember him scoring one from that angle. Last season it was, but maybe in rather different circumstances to a playoff final at Wembley. It's going to be Draper at the end who takes this. Plenty of movement in, it comes across. Regis is finished, it's there. Regis gets the third. Notts now surely are destined for Division 1. We've just a little over quarter of an hour to go in this second half. Regis's header and total silence at the Albion end of the ground. Steve Cherry holds his head in a sort of disbelief. Am I dreaming, says the Notts goalkeeper. No, you're not. Dave Regis gets the third. Just about 16 minutes to go on the watch, following Johnson's 2. Free kick in such a dangerous position, taken by Draper, converted by Regis. He's a most happy fellow, David.
Yes, a beautiful ball in by Draper. Very difficult to defend against, and Regis finished it off with his aggressive run there.
Chivers against Turner. Chivers it is. Going to slant it in with the left foot. Draper on the end of it, gives it to a Reardon forward for Johnson. Johnson with such a neat header picks out Turner, and it's 2 against 2. And now for Johnson to chase inside right channel, driven a little wide by the pass. But Johnson is there, edge of the area, goes against the defender. He's still on his feet, cuts into the area, tries the shot, fielded by Digweed at his near post. Johnson's hat-trick chance was on, Digweed denies him.
Did well. It was a very good move again, broke at them when they were a bit susceptible. I thought he could perhaps just come back on his inside and shoot, but no, that was a good chance, well saved.
And now it's Byrne, the Brighton substitute, who has it, going against Yates over on that far side. Byrne holds on. Yates comes in to challenge. And still it's Byrne. Leaves Yates on the floor. Still Byrne. Byrne now in the area. Is he going to try the shot? No, but the shot's going to come in, and Brighton are going to score a very late consolation through Dean Wilkins, their captain, in injury time. It's 3-1. David Needham so right, of course, to pick out the classic battle between Walker and Palmer, as it has been through the middle between small and short. And Cherry is going to clear his lines with the right foot. The referee hasn't yet blown. Everybody wonders when he will. Notts are in the First Division, but we haven't had the confirmation of the final whistle. We have now. That is it. Every Notts supporter is on their feet to salute the achievement of finishing 4th in the Second Division on 80 points. Such a magnificent late run into the campaign. The officials out on the pitch. Neil Warnock first, Mick Jones, Paul Evans, David Wilson, all out there. The club doctor, I see, Brian Bates. And Brighton disconsolate, Notts rejoice. Donna Reardon will perhaps be, along with the scorers, one of the most happy fellows, because he thought that his chance had gone. In just a few moments we shall have the 39 steps mounted by the 2 sets of players to collect the trophy, and Notts County being led by Phil Turner, the player who is so important on these important occasions, and who through the week had to fight off the ankle injury to be sure of playing. Brighton watch as Phil Turner comes, Dean Yates, Tommy Johnson, Paul Harding, Kevin Bartlett, Mark Draper clearly limping. Mark Draper, we can see now. Steve Cherry also injured. Charlie Palmer, Craig Short, Don Reardon, Alan Parris, Dean Thomas and David Regis. They come up these famous 39 steps. Supporters, not supporters that is to say, are all round them, giving them all sorts of personal trophies. There's a Notts County hat for Tommy Johnson. Is not slow to put it on, the young man. 2-goal hero this afternoon, 1-goal hero against Tranmere last year. 21 goals for this season, 41 over the period. People at the front of the Royal Box turn round for the presentation which is going to be made for the trophy. There it is, held aloft. The trophy that will grace the Notts County boardroom as proof of the playoff win which takes Notts into the First Division, where they enjoyed 3 seasons, having been promoted in May 1980, but weren't able to sustain that any longer. The challenge before the club now is to make their mark in the elite of the First Division. And they've got a wheelbarrow there. Somebody has produced a wheelbarrow to go with the wheelbarrow song, being pushed out there by Craig Short. Well, he won't be unused to that. He worked on a building site, Dick Craig Short, so he'll know all about that.
Let's get hold of Mark Draper straight away. Got a bit of a hobble there, Drapes. What's the problem, mate?
Yeah, well, I was just clearing the ball in the box about 10 minutes ago, and I just really went over on it, and I thought it'd be alright at first, but it was just a bit too painful.
Would you agree that Notts made a very slow start to the game?
Yeah, well, first 20 minutes they started to ping the ball around quite a lot, and we were chasing. But we knew if we held out them first 20, then we'd be alright. We got a goal, which we needed, and from then on it was us all the way.
And what's it like being a winner at Wembley, Mark?
It's brilliant, just great. Just look forward to Marbella.
Look forward to Marbella and look forward to the champagne in the dressing room. Well done, mate.
Yeah,
You've certainly
cheers.
enjoyed it, and we'll be in there with you very soon.
Cheers, mate.
So let's get a few words with Dean Yates.
Hi,
Well
Brian,
done,
how are
mate.
you?
Well done, son.
Hi.
You've done it. You're in the First Division now.
It's been a long time coming, but it's fantastic. Yeah, I just can't believe it.
Tell us about the game, because the first half had to soak up an awful lot of pressure before Tommy got the first goal.
Yes, when we started off, things weren't going too well for us, but we knuckled down and showed good character and came through it.
What about yourself? Because obviously you've not played for 4 games. Was it difficult to get into the rhythm straight away?
I'll tell you what it was. I could certainly do with a drink now. I know that. It was hard work for me with me being out for 4 weeks. But when you're out there and the adrenaline's thrown, it just puts you through it.
Tommy Johnson makes a habit of scoring at Wembley. The second goal in particular was something else.
Oh, brilliant! Because we needed that as well. 1-0 up at half time, and we come out second half. Sorry about that.
The whole of Nottingham singing your name.
Yes, it's fantastic, isn't it?
We're talking about Tommy Johnson's goal.
Yes,
how important
it's fantastic for us because we was always under pressure. We'd just been 1 goal up. They could have come straight back into it.
Dean, I'll let you get back down to the
thank you very
champagne.
much.
We'll be
Cheers.
with you soon.
All right, see you later, mate.
It's the 2 goal scorers, Tommy Johnson and David Regis. Tommy, talk us through the goals.
First one from the corner, I think. Phil and Dean Thomas would normally work the short one. Passed it back to Phil and he's whipped it in. I've just got my head on it really, and it's went in the corner.
A deft touch.
Is that what you call it?
Yes,
I was
that's
just
what
glad
we
it went in,
describe
because we weren't playing that well really to start with, in the first half. So I think a goal settled us down.
The second goal that you scored was quite magnificent, but a lot of it stemmed from this guy here, didn't it?
I think Phil's passed it to Rijo, and Rijo's done brilliant. He's twisting and turning that. He doesn't normally pass to us, you see. But this time I was in a bit of space, so he gave us the ball. And I've just touched it on, and I've seen I've just whacked it really into the far corner because there was no one coming towards us. And I've heard there was a bit of a swerve on it really. But I'm just glad it went in. Give us a bit of a cushion really.
Yeah.
And I think we've stolen from then on.
It was a cracking finish because you just missed one similar a couple of minutes earlier that you looked very annoyed about.
Well, yeah, it's a one-on-one really, and Dean Thomas played a brilliant ball to inside of the defender. And one-on-one, I don't know really. I should have scored, but that's the way it goes.
Should have scored, Tom, but you got to, and the chap here got the third one. Dave Regis, let's touch where it touched. The chest, wasn't it?
It was on his belly. On my chest. Well, there somewhere anyway.
On that pot belly somewhere.
That's the one.
But great feeling to score at Wembley.
Oh, magnificent, yes. Ball just come over from the free kick. I had a feeling it was going to come deep, and I just... the defender got in before me. I knew all he could do was try and flick it on, so I just made myself big behind him, and it come off my chest and went in. What can I say?
Well, many congratulations. First Division football for Notts County. I'll open the door now, and I'll be in amongst the rest of the boys here in the Notts County dressing room. Mick Jones, the Notts County assistant manager, pouring out the champagne, doing the honours now. Mick Jones, many congratulations.
Thank you.
Twice you've been at Wembley, and twice you've won. Well done.
Yes, it's a nice habit. I don't think it's the end. I think we're still building. Obviously, everybody knows that we've come a long way in a short space of time, but there's a long way to go yet.
Your thoughts on the game? Not the best of starts.
No, the first quarter of an hour, they were better, they were more comfortable, they passed the ball better than us. We seemed a little bit edgy. But once we settled, I mean, in fairness, there is a gap between Brighton and us. And I think at the end of the game, the gap was there for everybody to see. I think the second goal was vital. Goals are difficult to come by at Wembley because of the stadium and because of the atmosphere and because of the occasion. And people get nervous and uptight and all them type of things. The first goal is important. The second one absolutely finishes people off. And I couldn't see Brighton coming back.
I'm sure that the national press will say one or two things about Phil Turner. Get away, we'll talk to you in a minute. I'm sure that some of the national papers will say that Brighton hit the bar and they hit the post as well.
Sure. Well,
certainly the post one was a very close one because Clive Walker got away from his marker and a good header.
It was the first time that he did get away from Charlie Palmer. And yes, he did at the post, and then Wilkins hit the bar. The close shaves. But there again, I mean, if you look at the game overall, I think we dominated the proceedings, apart from the first 15 minutes. Once we settled down, we were okay. But in all honesty, you know, when you look at the league table before the playoffs, there's a big gap between us and Brighton. And like I said earlier, Martin, it was there for everybody to see.
Don O'Riordan wins the prize, I think, for the silliest hat. He's got one of these red hats that you see in the Casbah type of things. And let's get a few words. What's it called, Nigel?
It's a fez.
It's called a fez, apparently, that you're wearing, Don. Were you aware of that?
I just know Tommy could be used to perform magic on, and today's been one of them. A magical day, I suppose you could call it.
Magical day. You've had too many champagnes already. Now, we had a bit of an embrace that Andrew James and Colin Slater spotted on the touchline a bit earlier, and you were joking about the tears again then. A very emotional day for you.
Actually, I didn't cry as much as I thought I would today. I was trying to contain myself a little bit. Probably a bit embarrassing for a grown man to cry, but the tears I've cried mostly in the past have been because of relegation, and these tears are the best tears you'll ever spill, because to be part of a team that goes into the first division is absolutely incredible. I just can't describe the feeling. On two other occasions I felt better than this is when my two boys were born. But that's, you know, outside football. As far as football goes, this makes up for all the bad things or the sad things that have happened to me in my career. I never thought 12 months ago this would happen to me. I never thought, if I'm honest, it would happen to the team. But we've gone out and proved a lot of people wrong over this season, and it's only now that the lads are starting to realise how good they can be. It meant a lot to me. I'd sort of 36 people here today, friends and relatives, and every time I looked up and saw them, I felt like filling. That was just before the game, you know. I felt like filling up, and it's, you know, Martin, it's just words just can't describe it. It's as simple as that. And the city of Nottingham must be proud now they got two first division teams.
Don, that's a nice positive point to leave it. We'll let you get back to champagne and let you get undressed, because at the moment you're still in all your kit.
Thank you, Martin.
There's a warm lot of water in the bath next door waiting for you.
I don't think I'll be. I could be like this all night now, Martin. This could be me.
Don O'Riordan, one of the stars today. And Craig Short's going to come across now. First person I saw actually when we got near Wembley today was Craig Short when we got to the Hilton Hotel. Little thing about tickets, wasn't it, Craig? Managed to get tickets for you.
Yeah, that's very kind of you, Martin.
Yeah, no problem. You did say you were going to reciprocate by getting us a glass of champagne. Nothing has come my way so far,
no,
Craig.
I'll sort you out, Martin.
Let's talk a bit about the game, because a shaky start, I think we're all agreed on that. And you had to watch out for this guy Mike Small, and you told me beforehand as well you were struggling a bit with a groin injury.
I think Dave Wilson said to me it'd be worse first half than second half, and it was. The first 20 minutes I didn't think I was going to carry on. Then, at half time it was stiffening up a bit, and he said it'll soon warm up, and the second half it was no problem. But I thought Brighton started off very well the first 20 minutes. I think they realised they had to battle against us because we are a very hard working side, and the first 20 minutes they started off well. Then we got to grips with them, and really they put us shaded at the first half, but second half I thought we coped very well, and we created a few chances. Ripped their defence. Well, we didn't rip them apart, I shouldn't say things like that, but we did, spread them out a bit, and Tommy had a couple more chances, and we looked very good on the break.
Makes all the difference, doesn't it, when you've got a guy up front that with the slightest chance sticks it away with such aplomb. He's only 20.
Well, people say about Tommy that he's greedy. A lot of people say he's greedy in that, but if he gets a sniff of goal, he'll just shoot. And his second goal today was superb. It came out of nothing, and he's fully deserved it. He had a break in the season where he didn't play at all, but he's a natural finisher, and I think he'll do very well.
Now, you played in the third division playoff final last year. How does this compare to that? Is it a greater feeling?
Yeah, well, I enjoyed it more this year, because last year I felt a lot more pressure. Last year we were favourites to go up in the start in the third division. We didn't go up automatic. Then we came to Wembley, and a lot of pressure on us. If we'd have lost, we'd still been in the third division. I think this year, if we'd have lost, we'd still
in the second division. So it's a good league, the second division. You know, there's a lot of good clubs and a lot of good grounds to go at. But this year I just enjoyed it more this year, a lot more. And when we're 3-0 up, it's a lot easier to enjoy when you're 3-0 up than when you're 1-0 up or something like that. And I'm never very confident when we're 1-0 up. We always seem to let a goal in that we did at the end there. But all credit to the rest of the team. They've played superb. Second half especially.
Let's try and get that mouthy person over there to come and have a quick word with us, because we're going to go off air very soon. So Phil Turner, the man with the red thing round, who's been shouting at me all day, is going to come and have a quick word with me. Slowly, I stress, making his way towards us. Thanks very much, Craig.
Thanks for the tickets.
No problem, mate, no problem. Craig Short gives us a can of lager there. I think the champagne will come a little bit later on. Phil eventually comes. Is that the match ball again? Have you got the match ball?
On again, have you, Martin?
Yes, I have. We're rabbitting away for ages. Is that the match ball you played with today?
Yes, it is. It's a great honour for me, because the referees just come in and said it's just natural that the winning captain gets over the match ball, and I'm in turmoil at the moment what to do with it. So, it's whether it goes to the lads or whether I keep it to go with the other one that I had last year or not.
What's it like when you go up and collect that trophy? You've done it twice now.
Very emotional, Martin. As soon as the final whistle went, it was, last year was great, but this year was, even greater in a way. The prize at the end of it was the first division, and I think that was one of the factors why it was so emotional. I don't know, I can't really explain how I felt. It's the adrenaline's there, the happiness is there, but the tears were there as well. So I'm very pleased for everybody.
This time last year, just about the day actually, Phil, we were in this same dressing room looking forward to playing at the likes of Sheffield Wednesday and Newcastle.
You got the same tie on.
And I got the same tie on. And we were talking about Newcastle and Sheffield Wednesday, and now we can talk about Liverpool, Manchester United and Forest.
Well, exactly. We'll probably go out drinking with the Forest lads next week, and we're going to play them next year. So it's a big step for us. There's been players who've been playing in the non-league last year, 3rd and 4th division lads who've been playing throughout their career. It's a great accolade for everybody. I've been waiting over 10, 11 years to try and play in the 1st division, and I've actually got my chance at Notts County, and I'm going to take it.
Okay, Phil, many thanks for speaking to us. I'm sure you'll have a few more jars before the end of the evening.
We're looking forward to it. I'm sure you'll be there as well, won't you?
I'll be there. Phil Turner, the Notts County skipper. Now there's just one more person that we really need to speak to, and that's the manager Neil Warnock, who's done the press conference upstairs. He's talking to another lot of TV people at the moment.
We've paid into the profits, Martin.
Well done. Congratulations from Radio Nottingham. You've done a remarkable job. 2.5 years ago, this side was on the way to the 4th division. Now they're in the 1st division. How do you feel at the moment?
I feel absolutely cream crackered, really. I feel drained, very emotional. I can't really discuss how I feel, really, because I just feel absolutely shattered. And I've been involved now in 2 playoffs in 2 years, and 11-month seasons, believe you, for a manager, are very, very hard seasons. You mind playing on the field.
It's bad enough for us supporters sitting on the sidelines there. Just tell us what it's like on the bench there, because you're miles away from the action, really.
Well, you see, Brighton had to work very, very hard to stop with us, and the first half hour they were the better side because they're working their guts out. But I knew they couldn't continue that, and I knew that once we got the grip of them at half-time, our lads, and did change 1 or 2 things, I felt we could win the game. I was hoping it was 0-0 at half-time. To get a goal like we did as well was a bonus. But the second half, after the team talk, I thought the lads did exactly what we wanted, and we were comfortable winners in the end.
All the lads make a big point of how important your half-time team talks are. What sort of things did you say to them today, for instance?
I wanted the team to show the difference of 10 points that there was in the league and not worry about anybody else. Just let us play Notts County's way and to hell with everybody else. And I thought we did just that. It's a team game. Tommy's done well, but he didn't even play before Christmas. I thank people like Kevin Bartlett, who's got 16 goals and not been involved. Paul Harding, who's done super and not been involved today. It wasn't probably the most difficult decision managerial-wise to pick a side today, and I didn't make up my mind till yesterday morning, and that was at 5 to 10. But when you get a result like that, the gaffers always prove right, which helps.
What Neil Warnock has achieved in lifting Notts from the brink of the 4th division, that was the grim prospect when he arrived from Scarborough 2.5 seasons ago, to the heights of the 1st, is a testimony to shrewdness in the transfer market, tactical awareness, and the ability to motivate players, part of which is a convivial dressing room atmosphere. It stands comparison with any achievement by anybody in any period of County's 129-year history. It ensures Neil Warnock a special place in the annals of the league's oldest club. But for 4 whole days after the playoff triumph, supporters anguished over the possibility that Chelsea would entice Warnock from Meadow Lane to Stamford Bridge with a glittering offer. Could he, would he refuse it and stay at the Lane? The negotiations with Chairman Derek Pavis were conducted semi-publicly. Then came the decision, from his hotel room in Torremolinos.
I wanted Mick Jones to come with me, and he had certain problems where he didn't feel at this moment in time it was right, and I wasn't prepared to go to the challenge of Chelsea on my jack, simply because we work very well as a partnership now. The players have been superb over here, obviously talking to us, knowing that we've been talking to Chelsea, and they've made their points of view forward. It's been quite emotional the way the lads have felt, and they've all asked us or pleaded with us to give them a season. We have something special, and we'll need it next season because, it's only 2.5 years ago we were at bottom end of the 3rd division. As I'm talking to you now, the players don't even know of my decision. They will know, obviously, by the time your announcement comes out on Friday morning, that I know about it. But at this moment in time, they don't even know that. They've asked me today, which is Thursday afternoon, about it, and it wasn't 100% certain what we were doing then. So many things, factors have been taken into consideration, and believe you me, Martin, it wasn't an easy decision at all.
So Neil Warnock is staying. A new contract has been signed, and the manager, who has masterminded 2 amazing promotion successes in 2 years, now faces perhaps his greatest personal and professional challenge, stabilising Notts in the 1st division.